Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're talking about Chaos Angel again. Apologies if I'm just kind of like overkilling it with this card, but I just didn't feel good about the fact that I kind of underplayed this card in the the live reaction to reading this card for the first time. Because to be honest, like I really pretended like this card was just like, okay, it's pretty good, like yeah, for a 10, but there's really good ranked or level 10 synchros in the game already. Baloney. This card is amazing. I just want to come out and say that. And we'll go through why, because I think when you put yourself in the right frame of mind to look at this card, you'll realize how truly amazing it really is. I think it's going to see a lot of play in the metagame because it's just so easy to make. Non-synchro decks are just going to be making this card super easily. It's crazy. So, if you don't know, it has two main effects. It's just like a level 10 synchro, 3,500 attack. The only specific requirement for its materials is a lighter dark for the non-tuner. And also, if you don't know, you can also synchro summoning. You can synchro summon it without a tuner as long as you have a lighter dark. So the lighter dark can count as the tuner. Because the deck just doesn't need tuners. It just, or this card to make this card in a deck, you don't even need tuners. You just need lights and darks, or even just one or the other, because the other monster can be anything else. Actually, well, never mind. You need both because the other material has to be lighter dark. So whatever, but those are the most common attributes in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So not a big deal. Its first effect is on special summon, target a card on the field, banish it. Once per turn, by the way. That makes it even more broken. And the second effect, it gains protection for your board based on what you made with it. If you made it with a light, all synchro monsters you control are unaffected by activated monster effects from your opponent. And if you made it with a dark, your monsters, period, just can't be destroyed by battle. He's already 3,500, so like that's not a huge deal for him, but he protects a lot of the other small stuff on your board. Fine. The main one is the light one, but still, just nice little bonus effects you can gain while making this card. It's really good. So yeah, and like the biggest synergy there is like if you make this card, you're going to try to banish a card on Synchro Summon, but if you made it with a light, it's unaffected by activated monster effects. So negating it with a monster effect, not happening. You're just resolving, so they have to have something else to kind of threaten it. But yeah, like really, really insane. Here is where you need to look at the card in a specific way, okay? Because this card does not even need a tuner, we have to look at it this way. This is a Link 2. I know it's a synchro, but it's really just a Link 2. Master Rule doesn't even like you can make this anywhere. You know what I mean? We're not in Master Rule 4 anymore. You can make this anywhere on the field. It doesn't restrict you from anything else. But if you look at it from that frame of mind, where this card is essentially a Link 2 that just takes like any two lighter dark monsters that add up to level 10, you would say, wow, that's pretty easy to make. Like, Bestials are in the game. Those are super easy level 6s. All you need is any level 4 lighter dark monster, which is like in half the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty much. Super, super easy to make. And if I were to tell you, hey, there's a new Link 2 that just came out. And yeah, it needs like a lighter dark that adds up to a specific level, but those are the most common attributes in the game, so as long as they add up to a certain level, that's pretty easy to get to. It's 3,500 attack. It banishes a card on summon. By the way, if you can keep rotating it, it does this every single time it's special summon. So if you play multiple copies, you can make multiple copies. You could even like banish 2 cards and then make a rank 10 for like trains and just OTK. And you get like bonus protection depending on how you make it. Like if I were to tell you that was all just a Link 2, you would literally say like, wow, that might be the most like generically insane Link 2 for removal we've ever heard. 35 banishes once per turn every time it's summoned and gets protection like from negates and stuff if you're making it with a light monster. And its materials, not even that specific. Just like a little bit specific, but still not even that bad. It's crazy. I also had people in the comments of the other video saying like Labyrinth can really abuse this. It's not going to make it with a light material all that often, but Labyrinth has like, is it Stovey, who's the level 2, as well as both of the boss monsters are level 8. So the engine can facilitate this pretty easily. Also, this card's a fiend, so even your restrictions in the archetype don't lock you out of this card. As well as like Ariana plus a Bestial would be a 4 and a 6, so that would work. it's just easy to make. And I'm sure there are a ton of other archetypes that also fall into that mold of like, oh, they're just dark based and they have like 4s and 6s. And of course, there's going to be other synchro decks like Sword Soul that can just make it. But to be honest, I think this card is just going to have its sweet spot as it's as easy to make as a Link 2, essentially. It's really not that hard to make. And I think a lot of Chaos attribute based decks are just going to be able to drop this card super easily in a mid-board state, and it's just going to win the game for him. Like, even if your opponent has a negate, if you can plop this card with using a light monster, you just win the game, because you're banishing something they can't respond, you're running over something else, and now you just have like a 3500 beater that like has good protection, so good luck clearing it. And that can definitely just win games in like a fairly simplified state. So yeah, this card's insane. That's pretty much what it comes down to, and I think if you just put yourself in that frame of mind of like, this is essentially a Link 2 with the attributes that this card has, it's insane. So yeah, it's cool. I'm very curious about it because I'm definitely going to want to pick it up. This may be like the most desirable card in the set now, to be honest, but we'll have to see. But yeah, it's crazy. So definitely let me know your overall thoughts. I know I already said that below. Just, you know, I don't even know. Like, I guess, you know what I would say? Give me some other decks aside from, like, Labyrinth, some specific decks that could kind of facilitate this card inherently because they just play lights or darks and they actually work out level-wise where 2 monsters makes this pretty easily. I'd want to hear that because I'd want to see what the most relevant decks to be able to use this tool would work best there. So, yeah, let me know down below. But I'm out of here. Should be getting a lot more news, finishing up on Cyberstorm Access reveals in the next couple days. I think we're going to be like exactly a week away tomorrow, or about that, and still like 19 cards to go. So we'll get them as we go. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.